This case is tough. Why do we do what we do?
It is for the betterment of the people in our communities.
Our responsibilities are unlike any other job out there. We've got to risk our lives for it. Why did we become police officers? Wasn't it to solve crimes?
We're criminal police. We have to step up when it matters. So many innocent lives have been lost already. Thousands of police officers are working day and night. I will keep digging until I find him.
At the start, when Xiao Wu and I first saw the wounds, we also thought it was all from a shotgun. But during the exam, in the soft tissue of his right cheek, we found a short, very specific stretch of bullet track. Professor Cao, have a look.
This is a pistol track. It's only a short section, but because the bullet spins, it still leaves a smooth, polished channel. That's the mark of a pistol round.
Which means that at the right cheek, he actually took 2 hits. One from a shotgun, and one from a pistol.
Right. But here's what I don't get. How is... There's still a section that clearly belongs to the pistol if the tracks overlap.
From a medical point of view, it's possible that after the bullet entered the body, it met resistance from the skull. And that may have nudged it slightly off its original path.
Then it makes sense. Everything lines up. Only if the first shot was from a pistol would it be deflected by the skull.
Professor Cao, what do you think?
Hard to explain it all. Standing here. Let's do this. Let's go back to the crime scene.秦川, could you run over and bring Zhang Kui there?
Yes, sir.
Just a minute. Look at this bullet hole in the wall. This was made by a Type 54 pistol. To be precise, by Zhang Yiwen's Type 54. The hole is quite small, which tells us the bullet was slowed down by something on its way here.
In other words, it hit someone before it hit the wall, right?
Exactly.
I don't know about that. I remember seeing Zhang Yiwen go down with my own eyes. Hey, Zhang! Zhang! And I never saw him shoot anybody.
Old Zhang's point is critical until we know exactly under what circumstances Zhang Yiwen fired that shot. We can't say for sure who he actually hit. Zhang, when you got to the second floor, did Zhang Yiwen fire a shot? Could you see him?
What was there to see? Before I even reached the second floor, he was already gone. How could he still be firing?
So when you were pulling back upstairs, Zhang Yiwen had taken only 1 hit, right?
Yes.
The offender's first shot only struck Zhang Yiwen's right side of the chest. not immediately fatal. After he fell, Zhang Yiwen mustered everything he had left and fired one round toward the duty office. That shot enraged the gang. They went back and put another round into his head, and that's the one that killed him.
Professor Cao, Zhang Yiwen would never fire on his own people. So that last shot before he died must have hit one of the offenders.
Chief Wei, let me answer your question with the path of the bullet itself.
Sean, stand over there.
Judging from Zhang Yiwen's firing stance and where the bullet hole is, the person he aimed at was body 11. After I reached that conclusion last night, I was stuck. If body 11 was hit by Zhang Yiwen, why was there no trace of a Type 54 bullet track on him? Only today did Professor Wang Delun find that short section of pistol track in the right cheek. Then it all made sense.
So this John Doe actually took 3 bullets. Is that right, Professor Cao?
Yes. And the fatal shot was the one fired by Zhang Yiwen. Director Han, doesn't that confirm the theory you and秦川had? Body 11 has to be one of the offenders.
Zhang Yiwen was remarkable. One last shot, and he handed us a major lead.
Then, Professor Cao, how do we explain the 2 shotgun blasts body 11 took?
They were covering their tracks. Once 11 was shot, his partner's first instinct would be to save him. But with a wound that severe, there was no way they could get him out. So instead, they chose to finish it with 2 more blasts. The one to the right side of the face was aimed deliberately at the original entry wound. That served 2 purposes. First, to silence him. Second, to destroy the pistol's track and make our investigation harder.
In theory, one follow-up shot would have already been enough and ruined the bullet track. So why bother with a second shot? And why? Through his eye.
Anyone here ever hear Professor Wu Yinde from Provincial Department talk about these gangs are structured?
I was lucky enough to catch his lecture back in college. He said, some places are prone to big cases because people there tend to form tight crews, band together, which is necessary for pulling off a major job, just like this one.
If they're that tight, and they still put a round through his eye, isn't that a little too vicious? It doesn't add up. That tells us there's more to the story.
They're trying to keep us from seeing what they look like. Their features. The same idea as burning the bodies. It's all intentional.
If that's the logic, then number 11's left eye must have been distinctive.
Chief Wang, can we still make out anything about his eye?
We can. Director Xian, the charring's too severe. We can only roughly judge his build with what we already have. The man was about 25, roughly between 180 and 185 tall, medium build. But we did find that he's got a false tooth. The third one on the upper right, that is a resin crack.
Hobin,
Here.
start checking every dental clinic in the city, especially ones with an eye defect.
Yes, sir.
Jinchuan,
Here.
check all our case files right away. See if there's anything we can use in this case.
Yes, sir.
The canvassing can keep running. But we can't just sit here and wait.
So, Director Han, what are you thinking?
Mobilize the public.
Director Xie and I see it the same way. The door-to-door work is slow and tedious. So we use the papers and TV to issue a case bulletin, citywide. Collect tips and pin down who this John Doe is as soon as possible.
But then the whole case is basically out in the open.
At this point, how many people in Hechang don't know about it? This is the most manpower we can get. We have to bring the public in. Put up a reward. 50,000. That work, right? We bust our backs our whole lives. How many 50,000s are we gonna see, right?
All right. I'll notify the TV station.
Jingdong,
Here.
immediately send out a notice for assistance to the nearby counties and cities. 1,500 copies.
Yes, sir.
Captain Chin,
Hey. I'm looking for something.
whose file do you need? Let's head out.
Order.
Director Han.
Huh?
Director Dai.
What is it?
I've got something important to report.
All right, here. Let's do this.
Go ahead.
Well, back on April 25th, 1991, the Jinlu bank robbery. Do you still remember?
I remember.
The one that got bundled with the Gao Jianshe case.
The one where the suspects used Gao Jianshe's gun, right?
Right, that's the one.
But that gun had nothing to do with January 28th.
Director Han, that's not what I mean. Look, this is the file here. Back then, one of the suspects in the Jinlu savings robbery had this thing. With his left eye. Sat a little low and slanted. Known as a lazy eye.
Depositor withdrawal? I said depositor withdrawal.
Hey, what are you doing? Hey, stop that!
Where's the money?
Hey!
Hand it over!
Back then, the bank called it in right away. And we checked a lot of people with a lazy eye. But nothing came out of it in the end. Director Han, if that's the case, I'd say conditions are ripening to merge all three cases.
Director Dai, I'm not so sure. The Jinlu job was done by 2 people, and this one had 4. The head count alone doesn't match up.
It was 2 people. But the Jinlu robbery and the Gao Jianshe cases are 4 years apart. Is it impossible that a 2-man crew grew into a 4-man group?
That's guesswork. You can't just...
Let him finish. Go on.
Back in that Jinlu savings robbery, the suspects took off from the scene on foot, and there were a lot of eyewitnesses. Even though their statements don't all line up, we can still draw a basic picture. The 2 of them were locals, both around 180 tall. One of them had a droopy left eye, a lazy eye, wore a short wool coat on top, and was carrying a Type 54 pistol.
The age and build do line up with our John Doe. And the other one?
The other one, let's see here. The other one, he was lighter skinned, and his eyes were narrow and long. Director Han.
Let him think this through. Merging cases is a big deal.
I think there's enough. On the table here. At the very least, that lazy eye lets us narrow our search. Tintra.
Yes.
Get that feature to Xiao Jingdong right away. Then have him update the notice.
Yes, sir.
Comrade reporter!
Let's do this.
Come on in!
Citizens of Hechang, an extreme vicious robbery murder has occurred in our city.
4 suspects drove a green 212 Jeep taxi armed with a 5-shot shotgun, broke into the Shishan mine security office, killed and injured multiple people, stole 3 Type 54 pistols, and set off explosions and fires. Under the brave counterattack of our security staff and police, 3 suspects abandoned a comrade's body at the scene and fled the vehicle. We urge every citizen
Mom,
to
is
stay
this the
sharp
case Dad's
and
working
report
on?
any suspicious
Yes,
persons
that's your dad.
matching these
And my
descriptions
dad.
immediately.
Yes, your
Do
dad.
not approach them on your own.
And
They
your
are
mom
armed
right here.
and extremely dangerous. The sooner we get your tips, the sooner we can bring them in and keep Hechang safe. 1 suspect's body was left at the scene, about 25 years old, roughly 183 tall, medium build. In his mouth, the 3rd tooth on the upper right is a resin false tooth. His left eye is slanted, also known as a lazy eye. 1 fugitive suspect is around 180 tall, with narrow eyes and fair skin, wearing a black leather jacket and a pile fleece cap with a police badge. Another suspect has committed the crime disguised as a woman, wearing a wig. He is around 170, early 20s, in a gray knit cap and light purple
What the hell?
mid-length.
So it wasn't a woman.
Anyone
We got
who
people like that
provides
here?
a major clue leading to the solution of this case will receive a reward of 50,000 yuan.
50 grand?
At the
Imagine
same
what I could
time,
do with that.
we urge the suspects'
50 grand,
families
that's a
to
lot
stop
of
carrying
money.
this burden and voluntarily report to the task force or local police. Tip-off hotline 222-5110.
There's customers. Hey, brother, can't eat Hawthorne.
Looks like him to me. Kind of chubby, round face. I see it.
Wait for me. Don't walk so fast.
Fresh pork stew here! Piping hot pork stew here!
Hey, Chuan, here. Take this. Go on, take it.
Bai Ling, seriously, don't do this.
Come on. You're out there running around every day. Take it home and have your wife cook it up. Here, take them.
Bai Ling,
Huh?
you gotta stop doing this. If we want to eat, we can buy our own.
You never take anything.
Question, did you see the news on TV?
I did. They're offering 50,000, right? I couldn't make that much selling chicken a whole year.
Bai Ling, you get a lot of people coming through here. Keep an eye out for us, all right?
All right.
Let's go.
You sure you don't want to take some?
Oh, all right, I got everything you said. Thanks. Really appreciate your support for our work. Okay, thank you.
So, is it good?
Li Wen's cooking's pretty solid.
I trained her up myself.
You've got no shame. Back already?
Yeah. Dumplings, huh?
How'd the fake tooth lead go?
We took the tooth to the dentist. The specialist says it was done here, right here in our city. Most likely by a private dentist. There are 21 private clinics in town. We've hit 11. None of the dentists will admit they did it. They're scared of trouble. Worried it'll hurt business.
Oh, yeah. one more thing. Guys in the cities, 20s to 30s, walking around with false teeth? 276 of them.
You hear this? We found over 200 guys with that lazy left eye in the city. Not a single match. I heard one of them went to HQ this afternoon to complain.
I'd be pissed too. Hello? Huh? Chief Huh. Captain Hu's not in. If it's about the case, you can talk to me.
Here's the situation. Last night, one of my officers, Du Fengchun, came to me with something the public reported. In the middle of last month, a taxi driver named Luo was attacked by some passengers near Xishan Mine. Driver Luo got away and called our station. By the time my people got to the scene, the passengers had all escaped. Du tracked the driver down and confirmed it really happened. He felt it shouldn't be ignored, so he reported it to me first thing this morning.
Anything else?
There were 4 in the car. 3 men and a woman. The one up front was wearing a fleece police cap.
Fleece cap? Why is this the first time I'm hearing about it?
At the time, the driver filed with the Tiedong precinct. Our 9th precinct just learned about it too.
All right, here's what we'll do. Bring this driver Loy in. I'll head over now.
He's here. Waiting inside.
What day did that incident with your cab happen?
January 17th.
How come you remember it that clearly?
Well, I almost lost my life. That's not something you forget. It was the 17th, I'm sure.
Oh. Sheng, call Xishan Mine right away. Ask them if anything special happened on the 17th.
Okay.
Do you remember what time it was? Roughly when?
Around 4 in the afternoon. It was getting dark.
How many people in the car?
There were 4, 3 men and a woman.
Get a good look at their faces?
No way. Wrapped up so tight, you only saw their eyes.
Then what about height and build? You must have seen that.
That I saw. I got a pretty clear look at the 2 of them.
Which 2?
Well, the guy who hired my cab and the woman. The woman had pretty long hair. At least down here.
Where?
Here.
Uh-huh.
Big eyes. Pretty skinny. About 170 tall. Early 20s.
And the man who hired you?
He had on a fleece police cap. He was pale, chubby.
Chuan,
Yeah?
I just called Secretary Gao over at the Xishan Mine. He says January 17th was the first payday they'd had in half a year.
You sure?
Positive. 6 months, 1 payday? No way they'd forget.
All right. Start from the beginning. The more detailed, the better.
Okay, that day I was waiting for fares by Xishan Mine. This guy hired my cab to go to the plywood plant. I drove him there, and he said we had to pick up a few more people. Sir, where exactly are we going?
Just up ahead. Got something to take care of.
And the other 2 men, what did they look like? No impression at all?
I don't know. I was looking at the woman.
Why'd you keep staring at the woman?
I was curious. You don't usually see girls like that.
What kind?
How do I put it? She had makeup. At first glance, she looked pretty, but when you look close, something was off. She didn't feel like a normal young girl.
Go on.
Sir, where exactly are we going? Up ahead is the shooting range. Past that, you're in the hills.
Not the hills, just keep going.
And then?
And then people from the lumberyard, they called the cops for me. A few from the precinct came, took me to find my car. Doors were open, key was gone, and it reeked of alcohol.
Alcohol? Your nose that sharp?
How do you know it was alcohol?
Well, when you drink as much as I do, you recognize it.
Fair enough. Do you remember where they got into the cab?
Sir, my cab was parked right here. This is where they all got in.
Just right there?
Yeah, that's it.
And Tiedong Precinct. Didn't ask around this whole area? Hair salons, small eateries? They didn't check if anyone remembered those four?
They did ask. Taedong's notes say nobody had any clear impression. This is the back gate of the plywood plant. Usually pretty crowded.
Right here?
People all pass through here, right?
Yeah, they all go this way.
This whole area is huge.
Yeah, more than 20 buildings.
How many people live around here?
A lot, and a real mix. The plant hasn't done well. Most workers were laid off and went out to find work, so they ran out their flats.
Director Dai, I really feel like the January 8th job was done by these four.
Okay. All right then. Thank you for your help. We've got the picture now. It's freezing. Get him back home. If anything new comes up and I have more questions, I'll give you a call, all right?
Yeah, no problem. It's all
Appreciate
good.
your help.
All right, we'll talk
okay.
after.
Come on, move. Way too cold out here. You're saying?
I believe the four of them match on appearance and timing with our carjacking. It all lines up. Also, that woman very likely was a man in disguise. And January 17th. Do you know what day that was? The same day they hijacked his cab, January 17th.
What happened on January 17th?
I already confirmed with Secretary Gao. It was their first payday in half a year. They were only paying active workers, and they couldn't finish it that day. Their remaining cash was guarded overnight in a warehouse by a dozen security staff. That night, there was over 1 million yuan sitting in that room.
Ah. I get it. On January 17th, they were already planning to hit the money. But the cab driver bolted, threw their plan off. They couldn't finish it, that right?
That must be what happened. And the four of them match our wanted descriptions. Looks, build, everything. Plus, the driver, he gave us a key detail. The car, it reeked of alcohol when he found it again. That means they wiped it for prints with alcohol. That level of anti-forensics is exactly what we're seeing with the January 28th crew. So, Director Dai, I suggest we make this housing block a priority. There's a real chance that they live right here in this housing block. I'll stay in canvas. I'll go door to door. I can handle it.
Give it a rest. What, you think you're Superman? You can do it all yourself?
I'm in too.
That's still not enough. This place is huge. So many people. This whole place?
Either way, this area is where the heat is.
Here's how we do it. You step back for now. This is Dongshan's jurisdiction. I'll call Director Zhang and have them start a full canvass right away.
The TV address has been looping for days. And we still don't have any solid new leads. Everyone's run to their limit.
The body's just lying there. It should still be able to give us something.
Then we wash and dress him.
Wash and dress him?
Yes. Scrape off all the charred outer skin piece by piece, then put his clothes back on him, one garment at a time, then reconstruct his face off the bone structure. That way, we can restore what he looked like, get a comprehensive look.
Wei Ning, tell Wang Delun to go over him carefully and pull out distinctive features.
Only someone of your caliber, Director Wong, could handle an operation like this.
Chief Wong, take a look at this. Here.
Give me a light.
Looks like a tattoo.
If it is a tattoo, that'll make it much easier to identify.
Take some photos.
Professor Wong and his team scraped this out tonight. As you can see, it's a dragon-shaped tattoo on the left arm. Once the charred skin came off, it showed up. Look here. The dragon's head is raised, the body's curved, and its claws are stepping on flames. The surrounding skin is carbonized, so the details are blurry. But notice, there's something off about the dragon's head. First, the head has no horns. And what it's breathing out isn't flame. It's a forked tongue. That means it's actually a snake's head.
The body of a dragon. That's distinctive.
John, this is clearly our new armed crew.
At least it'll narrow things down.
Print out 400 copies of this photo. Distribute them to every branch, bureau, and the hospitals. Notify all grassroots units, have them search their case files, and check those with a record.
Director Sia. We've looked into the clothing found on body 11, and we found something. We cut a section from the remnant yellow fabric and ran a physical examination. Now have a look. It turns out to be a pair of police-issue yellow thermal leggings. Now, there's a military police supply store on that street that carries the identical item.
We've got a lead. We just heard from the detention center. An inmate identified the person in the photo. Says it's his classmate's older brother named Chen Xiaoqiu.
Think about it. This Chen Xiaoqiu going to work in Korea. Why Korea? He doesn't speak the language, and nobody's ever said he's got relatives there. I really think we can't rule him out.
Also, the information mentioned that Chen Xiaoqiu wore the same yellow thermal leggings 3 seasons a year. Just like these.
Do we have an address?
Yes. Number 5, Neighborhood Committee 27, Xishan District.
Isn't that under the jurisdiction of the 9th Precinct?
It is.
Didn't they canvass that area? How did they manage to miss him? 4 rounds of canvassing, and they missed this man? How did you conduct the search? What exactly are you people here for?
Why are you still standing there? Get out there now. Bring the officer who ran the canvassing in.
Heard there's a new development on the Body 11 autopsy.
I heard about that. I'll ask around once the meeting is up.
What a mess.
Did you hear he got in trouble?
What for?
No idea. It's too much to get into right now.
Reporting in, sirs. This is the station chief of the 9th Precinct, He Yutao and Officer Du Fengchun.
These are the two provincial department leaders. Introductions aren't necessary. Now tell us about your canvass.
In our 9th district, we started the canvass January 30th. We laid out the case details, the number of suspects we knew of then, and their basic features. All 9 of our officers went out, and 30 from Xishan branch came over to the 9th district for support. We covered the south side.
Who was in charge of the 2-7 area?
That's me.
Turn up anyone suspicious?
I flagged 3 people as suspects. One of them is Chen Xiaoqiu.
That Qin Xiaoqiu got that lazy eye, right?
I think so.
And he's got a dragon tattoo on his arm, too, doesn't he?
That I can't say for sure.
The informant says that he's got a false tooth. Did you know that?
I don't know. Never heard anybody mention it.
Listen to yourself. You don't know a thing. How are you doing this job? Keep going, and be specific.
I've gone to Chen's place 6 times. Only his dad, Chen Haishan, is home. The oldest is out of town, so we can't see him. The second son is in Korea, and also we can't get to him. After the case, the youngest was still at home, but he left the second day of New Year. That's what I found suspicious. So, at the briefing, I formally put the 3 Chen brothers down as suspects.
These briefings, we go over every name again and again.
To pick out the key ones. The Chen brothers is something we can't ignore. Problem is, even if I suspect them, I've got nothing to prove.
What are you suspicious of?
It's a feeling. Just a feeling. The second one supposedly went to Korea, but the Chens don't have any relatives there. And I've got no paperwork, nothing to back it up.
Did you mention all of this during the briefing?
Even if it was a small matter, I would report it up. But I can't prove anything yet.
Right now, it's not time to pin blame. We need to get the real story out of the Chen's family. But we can't wave these photos around near their place. The neighbors don't know anything, and if word leaks, the suspects will bolt. The only way is to make direct contact with these relatives. Get the truth directly from their mouths.
Here's what I think. Let's bring Tanshen into Xishan branch for questioning. And that Qin Yue who did Chen Xiaoqiu's tattoo, he needs to come in too. There's a chance he could be an accomplice. And when you go, make sure you take precautions. Best to send someone he knows, so nothing tips him off. Low profile.
I'll go.
No. You go.
Just go. Yes, sir.
On the night of January 28th, who was home at your place?
Look, officer, can you just stop asking me? You're asking me about my family. But none of my 3 boys ever listened to me. 10 days now. 8 times you've asked me. I really don't know. I never ran the household, and my wife isn't around either. I really don't know anything.
And yet you remember very clearly that it's been exactly 8 times.
That's just a figure of speech. Everybody talks like that.
Director Dai, I talked to the neighbors. They confirmed the Chens held a send-off for Chen Xiaoqiu last October. Nobody's seen him back since that day. Chen Xiaodong and his mother went to visit relatives in the capital. The whole family's scattered. Nobody keeps tabs.
Keep pushing. Don't stop until you get something.
Yes, sir.
Junior has talked. Chen Xiaoqiu has a false tooth and a tattoo. His regular contacts, Sun Xiaojun, the brother Song Xiaomil, and a neighbor called Sun Zhe.
We've now officially confirmed it. This John Doe, body 11, is one of the January 28th suspects. What's left is to identify the 3 living suspects, and fast.
Choe, walk us through it.
Based on the interviews, there were around a dozen people close to Shen Xiaoxiu. The precincts pulled all their files. I think that all of them were on the Xishan mine job. All 3 of them. My strongest candidate is this one, Song Xiaojun. He visited the Chen house more than anyone else. And he's the one who set up Chen Xiaoqiu's Korea trip.
This Song Xiaojun looks completely ordinary. Round face, about 180 tall, currently unemployed. He used to sell fabric from a street stall. Word is, he's cultured, good with a calligraphy brush. That's all we got on him at this point.
And the other 2?
There's someone who knew both Chen Xiaoqiu and Song Xiaojun. His name is Sun Zhe. About 180 tall, narrow face, fine features. Key point. He used to work in the utilities department at the very mine that was hit, collecting water and electricity fees. He resigned last year. His parents are officials at the mine. Then there's one more I'm less sure about, Song Xiaoming. He's Song Xiaojun's younger brother. The brothers used to flip motorcycles together for a short time. They're very close.
And we shouldn't rule out Chen Xiaoqiu's little brother, Chen Xiaodong, either.